Yo, what the fuck is going on? Today, we're gonna be going over penny stocks, pre-market and open market. Today is December 11th. We're gonna start with AMPG. AMPG to me reminded me of BNZI from yesterday. On Tuesday, kind of straight up pattern, and then opening with a kind of a dip pattern. If we go over to BNZ real quick, let's take a look. So over here on BNZ, kind of flat down here, straight push, a nice dip into open. To me, this is still kind of bullish. We're above this point here, and then it pushes up to a double top at high day, and then fades back down. So for me, AMPG, we've again been seeing a lot of kind of double tops with pre-market high. So either double tops or break of pre-market high. So for me, I thought this thing would have bounced off the rip. That's what most stocks have been doing, at least. But with this thing, it kind of fades off at first. And again, within the first, I'd say 5-10 minutes, if it doesn't go, usually it doesn't run later in the day. We have seen some midday pushes, but nothing really like what we see here with the AMPG. So kind of going over it, we do have a gap fill level from 150 to 216, which is basically where pre-market high is. It is over the daily 200. So overall, it's a bullish stock. To me though, it already kind of filled the gap already in pre-market. So to me, that was kind of a little bit bearish in a way, where it made the move already. But clearly had some buyers here at 150 again, but we have this kind of failed rotation off of the rip down here, this kind of fake kill candle. To me, this is usually it dies here, so but it stayed consistently flat down here. The volume kind of dried up, but we're still pretty high up, so you know, it is what it is. It comes back to life here. This is a great flag right here. This is kind of like just looking at open market only, this is kind of like a cup and handle here. You have a dip back down to kind of this area around 160s. Nice flag over VWAP though, and then kind of like the break of this downtrend here. Yeah, so this is a nice flag. The price action today was fucking choppy as all shit. So I know I got chopped around like a little bitch. But AMPG, this candle here is whack, but you do have a kind of fake kill candle look to it. But after this, it goes all the way up. It grinds straight up through pre-market highs, gets close to the yearly highs at 255, comes back down, dips to kind of this previous resistance spot, turning support, and then double tops into the previous push here, and then fades out. We've been seeing a lot of this as well. Usually when something pushes, it gets to pre-market high, it usually breaks it. Sometimes it'll dip and then kind of double top with the previous push and then fade. Some examples were like CMRX, I think, was the only one that actually, it broke pre-market highs and then pushed again. Most of the tickers we've been seeing lately have been kind of double topping, especially at a yearly high at a pivotal point. So this was a good dip down here. It's a mini kind of double bottom flag. I love these types of flags. Good entry points right there and there off of $2. But yeah, 2 to 250, 240 is really good risk reward there. Yeah, you know, you're not risking much down here. This flag, would love to be in this flag, but it gets a little choppy. So but overall, this is still pretty good too. But we haven't really seen much of this outside of the whole pre-market high push. Usually this is over here, is earlier in the day. But yeah, then we get failed rotation there and then just fade out rest of the day. So overall, this one was a good one. More of a midday, not really midday, but a late morning push here. Still kind of whack price action there. Could have easily got chopped up early on. Moving to ASST. This one had a push in pre-market. It ran on December 9th. Again, we're not really close to $1, and usually stuff that's recycled that doesn't even get close to back to where the pre-market highs were before, or the open highs were before, it tends to fade off. We have a ton of examples of this type of price action. Straight up push, ski slope into open, and then no volume fade. BNZI, this is just day 2, there's no volume. CADL, I like CADL, CADL. Fucking thick ass cattle boy. Go straight up here. We're in this uptrend right here. It's holding. You have a clear resistance point at around 1350. To me, this is, again, we're getting a lot of open bell dips and spikes to pre-market high, which is exactly what this did. This kind of did what Benzi did, but not really the same pre-market, but open bell push to pre-market high and then fade off a cliff. So I think it halts here, comes all the way back down, pushes again to yearly highs, and then halts back. So this stuff, I mean, I didn't personally trade it, but the spreads on this probably were fucking wild. If you market ordered into any of this, you probably got bagged, but really no good opportunity unless you're getting in here and just off of this uptrend and then pushing for like a break of high day or pre-market high. This thing definitely could have gone further up, but in this market, a lot of things tend to kind of fail around pre-market high. So fade down, and once it halts down like this, usually stuff like that is dead as well. Yeah, this thing fucking shit. This thing just died off. All right, moving on. CMRX. CMRX, this thing's day 2 runner. It's kind of flat. Nothing here that I really want to review. CRDF is another one that ran yesterday. Let's see. I don't want to put that there. Let's put that right there. No volume there. It hits the open high from yesterday, but fades back down. GXAI. This is one we've been keeping tabs on for a while now. Probably the best recycled runner I've seen in a while. You have this V shape, this U pattern. It fails to break this kind of 620 level. Comes flat. I wouldn't be surprised if there's one more push in this, but could be the end of the play. Who knows? LAES. LAES chips. LAES chips look really good. We had a nice spike here into the daily 200. We were fading off into a downtrend. Let's see. This kind of flag right here kind of bit me in the ass, so I got beef with LAES. I think it was this one right here. I think I took some here, got stopped here. I think I took some here. Usually when something goes off the open, it tends to push up, have like a 1-2 minute dip candle, and then push again. And sometimes we'll get this push, a huge push up to pre-market highs. We also have the daily 200 here. So my thinking was take a dip here. We have volume, so obviously people are looking at it. As long as it stays up and doesn't come all the way back down through, it should kind of get a push here. It went sideways and then pushed. Kind of annoyed, but now this to me, this price action right here is weird for the first 10 minutes. Usually you get this kind of stuff later in the day, like this candle right here. Usually when you get that early, it tends to just kind of fade off, but in this instance, we push back up. We hit to, I think we halt here at 135. We open up, we push through the 200 there, and then fade all the way back down. I'm surprised this thing didn't put in another kind of hold here and push again. Just kind of faded straight off. So overall, I think today's price action was, I think it just nothing was consistent in my eyes. There was just weird shit all over the place. Still bullish momentum and still a lot of ways to make money, but just looking at this chart, just it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really kind of match with a lot of stuff that has been going on. So kind of weird, but halts have not been working either. Up halts just kind of been fading off, so watch out for that as well. I think it died out the rest of the day. Yeah. All right, well, moving on. LDTC, this one I think also ran. So this is a day 3 move. This thing pre-market on December 9th, so on Monday. Nice push, but similar. Actually, this is kind of similar to, very similar to LAES. It didn't dip down, but we halted and then broke through the 200, then faded off. So maybe there is that. But this thing was a weird ticker as well. It halted, volume was all over the place. Let's see. Oops, my B. This thing on the day 3 move went straight up. I didn't even have it on my radar really, just because again most things. Like GXAI was the only one so far that has put in a recycled push. So LDTC, let's see, it halted here at 935. We don't really see this type of price action, so for me I was very interested. I did take some down here. I think I sold before this halt though, RIP. Just wasn't feeling it today, and it was just one of those days where just expecting bearishness. But this thing put in a nice 5-minute flag here, pushes up. We have the 200 here, so for me too, I was expecting this candle to come back down a little bit more. It just kind of stayed, it floated up there and then push again. Kind of weird. Like I've seen this a long time ago, but in this recent market, usually we come back down at least, but this thing just skyrocketed into 219. So 219 was a pivotal level. And we also have the previous high of day, which is at 186. We have this spike. It comes back down. So it comes back down to 219. I took some here for a little scalp too. Same idea. 271 is also a pivotal level. Comes back down. Failed rotation, failed rotation, failed rotation. And then I think it just faded to nothing. Yeah. Super bullish trade. I mean, this is a crazy ass ticker trade. But still, to me, looking at how many opportunities do I have to get in this stock? I mean, unless you're swinging it, this is straight up here. You have a halt. Great opportunity here. Halt again. I think this is a good opportunity. You know, if you wanted to catch it down here, maybe again for another dip down here, okay, but just didn't really rotate enough. So really only a couple opportunities on this, even though it went from fucking 130 to 275, so pretty fucking crazy. Yeah, so that was pretty sick. A couple good flags. And just, you know, we could be seeing more day 3, day 4 moves on stock, so we'll be keeping up recycled names here and there just in case. NIVF, moving on. This thing, if you look at the 30-day, this thing ran previously over here on November 18th to 150. Straight up, straight down. Again, recycled names that are under structure are under the previous high by a lot. So like basically almost 50% away, I would say. We also have the daily 200 here at 1. Straight up, straight down. So it's copying literally the same thing it did before. Therefore, I'm assuming it's not going to do a whole lot. And it didn't. Most of the times these things don't do anything. So yeah, so moving out of that, QSI was also a recycled name. Dude, just straight down here. I actually thought this could, because there have been instances where, you know, it is over its previous day highs, it kind of breaks it, it comes back up. I thought maybe we could see something kind of run, but did not. Ended up just fading to nothing. RZTI. Let's see. This one also is recycled name, similar to QSI, where it's a slow grinder. Yesterday's highs were at 7. Kind of the same thing. It pops up, but it comes straight down. I think does it. I don't know if it halts or not. No, I don't think it halts. It tries the U pattern, but doesn't get there. Again, most recycled names do this. Sometimes we'll get a pop at the open and then fade, but sometimes just goes straight down. RZLV. This one was also a little bit weird. It did run in the past. 270 was a clear standout point. We also have this pre-market high here on November 20th at $5. But 270, that's where it's pretty much around. It touches it like a couple times. It kind of, at least it's not straight up and then ski slope. At least it's kind of like holding up a little bit. This thing did do the dip and rip to pre-market high and die move, like we see a lot of. I missed this one. Did not expect it really to do this. Sometimes, you know, there was other, I think AMPG, there was LAES. There's a lot of things I was looking at that I think faded off in the morning while this thing went. So it kind of sucked missing this one, but good dip here, good push. We also see that when things start to dip and rip, like I said earlier on LAES, when things push up, I like to take the first 1 minute, 2 minute dip down here, like for example here. And usually what we get is a second push up to pre-market high. That's kind of been a theme. Doesn't mean it's going to stand up, but usually you get some good little mini scalps here from, you know, 240 to 270, not too bad. I think CMRX did this too. So you have this downtrend here. It pushes up towards that downtrend and then breaks it. So if we go to, God, my voice sounds like shit. If you go to CMRX, if we look at this downtrend, we have a dip, a push into that downtrend, a flag here. I would say this one's a little bit more extended, but similar vibes. And it extends to pre-market high. Now this one I thought would die off, but it actually put in another leg. So RZLV did the same thing. There have been many tickers like this as well that do this, but again, pre-market high fade has been pretty prevalent. SFIX. I'm not gonna review this one. There's no volume here. That's just a grind stock. SPHW I think is the same thing. No volume. Not gonna worry about it. VRAR. This one ran yesterday, so this is a day 2 move that broke its highs, but the volume is ass. So I will keep this one up for tomorrow just because things that have been recycled names have been moving, but overall this chart, the volume just isn't there for me. No volume here, and then zone, this one also had like no volume. Kind of barcoding, not really worth my time. So closing thoughts on today. I personally got kind of a little bit, not smoked, but I got chopped up a lot today. Very frustrating day. I think the volume was just here, it was there. You had, you had fucking LDTC straight up in the morning. Some decent flags. You had AMPG that faded, came back to life and then push, and then you had LAES, which kind of stalled it open and then went. You had CADL that was right off the rip, push to highs, halt, fade, halt, fade. Yeah, so I think a big takeaway too is up halts have been kind of trash in the past couple of days. Outside of LDTC where it halted, came down and then pushed again. I would bet against them overall, especially if they're below the pre-market highs. But yeah, overall just a weird day. It's kind of hard to put together kind of like a trade plan for tomorrow with just so much shit going on. But nonetheless, we're gonna fucking Warren Buffett bag tomorrow. So peace.